Yeah, I know the Oilers are playing in just a little bit here, but we still have to talk about this, and what better way to dive into today's Edmonton Oilers signing news by incorporating it with a conversation about the Montreal Canadiens. This is a really interesting link between the two teams here. Montreal and Edmonton both experiencing some very positive news, and the news for both of these teams revolves around one name: Hutson. Because Montreal Canadiens D-man Lane Hutson has been turning heads lately, and even though he may have gone pointless in yesterday's game against Toronto, even though he may not have looked his best in yesterday's game against Toronto, we still have some drastically varying discussions on this guy comparative to what you could say was a poor performance yesterday. Let's go over to a tweet made by Chris Pronger. Yeah, that's right, baby. It's Pronger. He did have some comments about Lane Hutson earlier in the season that I saw a lot of Canadiens fans getting upset about. Just some conversations about how good he is, etc., etc. But Pronger went out there and tweeted this yesterday during or shortly after the Leafs game, working on a Lane Hutson thread. He is the Calder Trophy winner. He has improved so much over the course of the season. Confidence is oozing out of him. A top reply from Sean Saunders says, Calder for the most secondary assists while playing the most minutes in every power play? I don't see it. Let me guess, you want Mishkov. And, of course, he is a game changer. He probably has more shootout goals than Hutson has all season, all of which he doesn't get credit for, but should. Here's the thing about the Calder. It isn't necessarily the player who is the best rookie. It's not the guy who is the best talented, most incredible, impactful player out of the rookie class. The Calder just means the guy who happens to be a rookie who has the best season. Again, not the same as, oh, who's the best player. Panarin won the Calder over McDavid in 2015-16, even though you could say McDavid was the better player, because Panarin played the whole year, and he had 77 points versus McDavid, who had 40. You could talk about the player, you could talk about who's better than whom, but who has the best season? That's a distinct, different type of qualification, and that's why you could debate, oh yeah, Hutson or Mishkov, who would you rather have? I'd rather have Mishkov, but you can say that Hutson has had the better season, and that's exemplified by some of the stats and some of the other things that have been put out there, like this. Lane Hutson, the first rookie D-man in NHL history, with 60 points in a season since 91-92. Yeah, you probably shouldn't put in NHL history because it just kind of looks like, hey, he's done something for the first time ever, but no, it's the first time in 30 years, which is still pretty good. 1991-1992 was a long freaking time ago. The first rookie D-man with 60 points in a season since 91-92. You didn't need the in NHL history there, ESPN, but then again, you know, I get it. It's not NHL going out there and tweeting this. It's ESPN. These guys focus on everything else but hockey. But ultimately, Hutson, look at this beautiful picture, by the way. What a swell-looking young lad. But he has done so much, and this season he has had is worthy of the Calder. Chris Pronger here is saying that he is the Calder winner. I'm a huge Hutson fan, and he definitely deserves the Calder, Seb09 says. Just a weird timing on the tweet since he had one of his worst games tonight. I'm not basing my decision on one game. He's erratic at times, yes, but his understanding of his skill set and how best to use it has evolved over the season. And you obviously know how much more difficult it is for a defenseman to do that, especially compared to a winger. I think that should count for something too. I gotta say, Daniel, yeah, he's kind of right there. Let's go out there and read some other thoughts. Eric Macramala went out there and said this: Lane Hutson is a lock for the Calder Trophy. The discussion that should be had now is whether he should be nominated for the Norris. Okay, is this the same NHL that has Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, and Zach Werenski in it? Yes, and Lane is second amongst those guys in assists. So are we starting Lane Hutson for Norris talk now? I don't know. I really, really don't know. Although I don't think Lane Hutson will be nominated for the Norris, I do think it's going to be Hughes, Makar, Werenski. I do think that Hughes is vulnerable, not because he's not worth it. If it were up to me, I would vote for Hughes to have the best everything, because he is so good. I think he is the most talented defenseman in the NHL. The problem is Hughes is playing hurt, and he has been hurt for a good chunk of the year. That's why he missed the Four Nations as well. Makar and Werenski have had better seasons than Hughes, even though I think Hughes is the better player just because Quinn has missed a lot of time. So I do think there is vulnerability there if there was an opportunity for Hutson to slip into the Norris voting conversation. But enough about Lane. Let's talk about the other guy whose name has been taken up the headlines now. It's the new face in Edmonton. Cam Robinson tweeted this out yesterday. I'm told that Quinn Hutson, the eldest Hutson brother, will sign a 2-year ELC with the Oilers after tonight's NCAA championship game. He'll report directly to Edmonton and will instantly burn a year off the deal, making him an RFA at the end of the 25-26 season. Here's what we had to say about him in the Elite Prospects NCAA Free Agent Guide. Scoring in the NCAA has never been particularly difficult for Quinn Hutson, the eldest Hutson brother, but he's reached new heights since the second half of the season began, scoring 15 goals and 31 points in 18 games, a 1.72 point per game clip. Always open and ready to fire instantly, Quinn Hutson is a goal scorer. What separates him from other NCAA goal scorers is how he's constantly moving to become the perfect option, and how he seems to read the play far in advance. In particular, he seems to always know Cole Hudson's next move. The two have tremendous synergy. Though a shooter first, Hutson is becoming increasingly dynamic at this level. He prefers the give-and-go, quick possession game, but he shows deception, pace, and creativity doing it. Returning to the NCAA to continue his development as a play driver as well as improving his physical play might be the best call, but in terms of upside, there aren't too many on this list that compare. So Quinn Hutson is now an Edmonton Oiler, and they say, oh, he's the eldest Hutson brother. Yeah, he's the oldest one of the bunch, but he's only 23 years old. This guy's younger than I am. 5'11", 170 right-handed right wing, a goal scorer with 23 goals in 38 games this season in the NCAA. 50 points, too. What a great point production metric there for the NCAA superstar. This is also what Elliot Friedman said as soon as tomorrow. This tweet was made yesterday. Quinn Hutson is going to sign with the Edmonton Oilers. And we had ourselves B. Kurlock, who went out there and posted this as well. Quinn Hutson is an unbelievable signing by the Oilers. I saw him 83 times, a little on the small side as a winger. I'd have modest questions at his ability on the walls against pros. That said, he is a very fast-paced player who is an excellent passer with a pro-level shot. He has good defensive instincts, and his desire to be responsible is good. If you think of a player in Oiler lore, it would be a lower-ceiling Jordan Eberle. High puck sense, great hands, and a give-and-go style of play. He should play for the Oilers this week. And that was also talked about by Cam. It seems like Quinn Hutson is going to report directly to Edmonton and play for the Oilers, not waiting around till 2025, 2026, not signing an ATO to play in Bakersfield in the AHL. Nah, Hutson is heading to Edmonton, and he is going to be a goal-scoring force to be reckoned with on his brand new blue and white team. Who knows how well Quinn Hutson is going to be able to perform, but Jordan Eberle as a comparable is a really interesting one, mostly because Eberle, I feel, was a defining player for the team in the late 2000s, early 2010s-ish era for the Edmonton Oilers there. I mean, he maxed out as a 60-point guy. If Quinn Hutson can be a 60-point guy, then I think you're probably laughing, especially as an NCAA free agent, but hey, if Quinn Hutson in his prime is a 45-point guy with 20 goals on a season, I don't think you could complain about that. Goal-scoring wingers are tough to come by, and Quinn Hutson is one of the best available in the NCAA market. So seeing this guy get snagged up by the Oilers, pretty big deal. With that in mind, though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Lane Hutson for Norris talk and Quinn Hutson to Edmonton talk. What are your thoughts on these two Hutsons making an impact and doing some great things for their Canadian teams? How well do you think Quinn Hutson is going to be able to translate his skills to the National Hockey League level? Let me know in the comment section your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.